You may be wondering how I got here. It all started when I began my world tour. What is up, recruits? Listen up, cause today I'm gonna learn you some Minecraft. Today we are going to wrap up the world tour in the Nether. And of course, can't forget about the end. Seems pretty fitting. Now, keep in mind a quick public service announcement coming at you, real quick like. Even though I'll be switching in and out of creative mode and spectator mode, I built this entire world in survival mode. I just made a backup of the world, that is what we are playing on right now, and I allow myself to switch in and out of creative for the convenience of seeing absolutely everything that we could possibly see. Stay tuned for the very end of the episode for a quick surprise coming at you. Now, moving into the end, we have the giant scientific dome. I created this with the inspiration being a scientific laboratory placed in the Nether to observe all of the goings-on here, all of the ghasts and magma cubes and what have you, in a safe environment underneath this dome-like structure right here. Now, building this area was a lot of fun. It was early in 1.16, hence all of the new block variants, all of the blackstone and glow lights and crying obsidian, what have you. But it was a pain and a half building this thing, especially all of the glass on top, not only because it's a perfect dome, I used sphere generator, but even with that to help me, building this was a hassle and a half with all of the gas blowing up all of the glass very frequently, may I say. Now, I did in the end start using some invisibility potions to get through it, but a lot of it had already been built, so it ended up being pointless. Now, taking a step back through the Nether portal, we have this hidden room right here. This was just the storage area to keep everything out of the dome, but now it serves as the entrance to the Nether itself. And as you can see here, I kind of hid the entrance to the science lab through the basalt spikes right here. Now, going over here into the scary Nether, I have not built a tunnel for this small area just because this blaze farm is very far away. And here we are. I do plan on making this a lot more accessible in the future. It's just such a long distance and my priorities have been filled with other projects. Now this is just a simple 1.16 blaze farm. As you can see here, the blaze from the spawner spawn in this box, fall into the lava, and are pushed into a hole. Now underneath these trapdoors, if we move down here, the blaze simply collect at the bottom here. The pistons push them together, allowing me to easily hit all of them because they all eventually group to one side or the other. It's a decently steady supply of blazes, and of course all of their drops end up down here. I do get a lot of blaze heads to use for different fun projects, so that is a bonus. This blaze farm does sadden me somewhat, mainly because there is a hello Mr. Scary Wither Skeleton. There is a hello other Scary Wither Skeletons. Because there is another blaze farm right here, just out of spawning distance. Like, it is just close enough to where I can't combine these two to make a double blaze farm. So that's unfortunate, but no biggie. We don't need that many blaze rods in the end after all. This one suits us just fine. Now heading back the pathway of death. We will head back into the science lab dome, whatever you want to call it, here. Through the portal. And now in this science lab, you can see there's not much equipment, mainly because it has been stored away. But the main purpose of this lab is for teleportation. Yes. This area is for easy access to other areas, of course. Through this doorway lies lands like no other. And of course, in those lands are very useful resources and farms that I have built. Therefore, we will take a journey through the portal and visit all of the different lands that we have created here in the Nether and beyond. In this access point right here, we actually built this in a very early episode, I believe it was the second episode, a Piglin trading hall. Now, of course, this area is merely the entrance to the hall itself. I just wanted to make sure it was decorated nicely. But in the hall itself, we have basic Piglin trading going on. In here, we have all of their trades being sorted out, but they are currently being sent through these hopper lines into these dropper towers and into these item sorters to be sorted out accordingly and efficiently. Now, it's not the fastest system in the world, but it is quite efficient and it suits me just fine. Yes, yes. Here we have a basic double chest to send all of our items into for disposal, trash, crafting, and here we have the system power hooked up to a T flip-flop back here that powers the entire system, just allowing items to actually be sent into the pig kennels using this Etho hopper clock right here. This hopper clock is extremely useful, made by Etho himself, the almighty titan of Minecraft from the Hermitcraft server. And this hopper clock is mainly good for slow repeating signals. Now, heading back through the tunnel. Oh, and I just wanted to say, under here, of course, we have, you guessed it, soul sand. Just because in the actual game I wear netherite soul speed boots, soul speed 3 boots rather, and the soul sand just makes me move that much faster in case I don't have my elytra or when walking down these smaller corridors where I can't use the elytra. Heading back into the Shine-Chi portal of time travel or travel itself, location displacement, whatever the heck you want to call it. Hello, Mr. Piglin Man. We will head through this fancy-looking tunnel right to Cyber City and the almighty and all-powerful Witch Tower. Now, this area is a work in progress, but as you can already see, there has been a ton of work put into it. Now, you may have seen this, you may have not. That is built, that's just taking a while to load in there. This was the build that I made for my very first Minecraft video, so please do go back and watch. It is very early on in my video editing experience, so please do be kind. But this area is fantastic nonetheless. Witch Tower itself is mainly empty. What you see in the exterior is mostly just a hollow shell, unfortunately. I kind of lost inspiration on this area, and I chose to wait for that inspiration to come back rather than trying to force the process. So this is the inside of the area right here, but the tower does have an extremely useful purpose nonetheless. If we move up here to this hangar bay to access via elytra, you may already hear we have a witch farm. Now going over here, this fancy redstone right here just activates the farm. And if we hop into spectator mode real quick, you can see this lever just activates a series of redstone blocks using slime block and deactivates this redstone dust right here, allowing this flying machine to go back and forth connected to this line of slime blocks, sending witches to their deaths as they spawn. They fall down into this water and they meet their demise via entity cramming with all of these minecarts right here. I believe it takes 23 minecarts in total to entity cram any mob in the game. So that's a very efficient way of killing your mobs. And then all of the drops are sorted out using this item sorter that you may have seen. You probably saw earlier on the Piglin trade area, and you've seen in my storage hall. So all of their drops are sorted out accordingly. And as you see, the farm is very, very efficient. I do not have any more gunpowder needs, which is why earlier in the series I mentioned how the hot air balloon is kind of which is why the hot air balloon at this point is kind of obsolete. We have this farm for gunpowder, and we have the paper farm in the cathedral as well for paper, of course, to make rockets. That is mainly the need that I have for paper and rockets, also for trading as far as paper goes. And of course, the system has overflowed. Plenty of stuff's there. Yes, yes. And, yes, a beautiful, beautiful chest monster here for you, with all of these shulkers and double chests and crafting tables and beds. Beautiful. Now, you may have already remarked on this giant crater in the ground. I explained it in the first episode, but to make a long story short, we made a ton of TNT duplicator flying machines, 100, I believe, in total, possibly like 100 to 104 flying TNT duplicators. We have a set of 50 right here, and then initially we had to build a set up here. That's what this structure here is for. Let me change. Is the weather? Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. And the time. Yes. Beautiful. But yes, we had to build plenty of TNT duplicators, flying TNT duplicators rather, to clear out a giant mountain that was here, and then the ground beneath it all the way down to lava, where... Boof. Yes, we layered the entire bottom of this with glass, and beforehand I had to go in and replace or transfer, I had to go in and transfer all of the lava down to the bedrock that you see here for this effect. There was plenty of giant piles of lava because, as you remember, water and liquids do not work the same in Minecraft. Yeah, they just stay there. They just create giant mountains of lava and water that are super difficult to deal with. So this giant hole in the ground was a task and a half, let alone the giant structure in the middle of it, which of course ultimately led to my burnout on this area. Yeah, unfortunate. But we will definitely come back here and build some pretty awesome stuff. Yes, yes. Doing this also gave us a ton of resources like stone and granite and andesite and even diamonds, redstone, gold once we got to the lower floors here. So worth it, worth it. Now, regarding the giant hunk of colorful stuff right here, this is a concrete generator. I do plan on moving this possibly inside of Arasaka itself or creating a different tower kind of further away from the building itself. I built this first, and then I wanted to place which tower, or Arasaka Tower rather. This is based off of Arasaka Tower from Cyberpunk. If you didn't already know, you would if you watched the first video. But I wanted to build this here in the middle, in the very center of the giant hole here as the center point of the Cyber City. So yeah, this has got to go. This has got to go. But it is efficient nonetheless. This is a concrete generator, Raiseworks design, of course, as most awesome farms are. Usually Raiseworks or Ilmango, one of the two. Moving inside here, we have the concrete storage in these chests right here. Item sorter access is through the back, right? And heading in here, in this small little hallway, is the actual farming area. You place blocks here. You turn the farm on, place blocks here, it spits them out and drops down into here. TNT destroys all of the concrete, allowing it to fall into this water stream, into these hoppers here, into this dropper system, and back into the storage system, of course. Now, through this way, we have the water streams that you can see above us, and just some simple extra storage. And this shulker box in the wall right here is input for the farm. Anything that we put into this shulker box will end up into one of these sets of double chests. We have a little crafting area with a ender chest, crafting table, and grindstone that's easily accessible but hidden because it looks ugly with this modern aesthetic. And through these double doors, we just have the redstone access to the TNT duplicator and the timers, basically the farm itself. So again, that is Raiseworks concrete generator. But the concrete generator is not the only thing left here in Cyber City. We also have the almighty Nether Iron Farm. Now, this iron farm really packs a punch. This, of course, is the item collection area for the farm itself, which we will cover later. The actual farm is in this same area, but in the nether dimension. Right? Yeah. And of course, shout out to another fantastic Minecraft YouTuber, Logical Geek Boy. This is his farm design. It is a iron farm here in the nether. How this farm works is that this little bad boy right here, Mr. Pillager, is on a piston set on a timer using this etho hopper clock that we mentioned previously right here. Now this hopper clock sends the piston down and up every so often, which resets the clock on these testificate villagers to be scared every once in a while. When he's blocked by the glass, they feel safe. When he pops back up, they get scared and hopefully spawn an iron golem in one of the platforms above each unit. Now, of course, you guessed it, all of these portals right here end up in the same exact place, back in the collection area for the farm itself. Iron golems exit the portal here, are sent through the water stream, and fall into the lava. And of course, the gates here are just to block the water from falling, forming cobblestone down there. Now, the iron golem fall, and sometimes hoglins fall as well, but they all end up inevitably burned to a crisp with their drops falling into these hoppers. Now, moving into the back here, we can see some of the redstone-y bits. All of the items from up there are sent through these hoppers into this stream right here to this item sorter right here that we mention very frequently in this World Tour. Super useful thing to use. Highly recommend you memorizing this item sorter right here. But from there, the items are sorted out into the left and right shulker units. Now, the left unit is for all of the iron, and the right is for all of the roses. And of course, all of the shulker boxes are color coordinated between the gray for the iron and the red for the roses. Pretty simple. Now, all of the iron is sent into this shulker box, where when it is filled up, the comparator senses that, sending a signal out, causing this signal to come down and the hopper beneath to unlock. This shulker box is sent through this stream into one of these water streams and sent up into the storage collection area. The same redstone contraption is used to collect all of the roses into this box, crushing it, unlocking the hopper, sending it into the other stream right here. Additionally, all of the pork chops and random items that appear that I do not want end up in this block of lava after being sorted out from the item sorter, sent into this dropper, and disposed of accordingly, so we don't have any random items that come through. So you do not want to die above these hoppers, because if you fall in, yeah, all your items are gone. So don't do that. Oh my god, where are my legs? My legs! This reminds me of the war. Now, as for the item storage area itself, I just went for a modern aesthetic to collaborate with the concrete farm and the futuristic structure that we have built here. We have some beautiful banners, just a bed to sleep in, and some basic item storage here in the corners. Now, as for all of the shulker boxes and items themselves, all filled shulker boxes end up in these chests. And we don't like to waste shulker boxes here, so all of the empty shulker boxes go into these chests. And thus concludes our tour of Cyber City. You know what? This is a backup, so it wouldn't really be that bad if we just, like... Oh my gosh. Now, I set these up in units because if you sent all of these out in a row, you would get some tremendous lag and probably destroy the game. So, wouldn't want that now, would we? Yeah. As you can see, it obliterates everything below it. And once they get to the end here, the observers sense that, sending them right on back out. See you later, guys. Hasta la vista. Nice knowing you. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, even though this is the backup, just seeing that irks me. That was a lot of effort put into placing all that glass. Heading back into the nether. We'll head back down the tunnel here, back through the magical scientific portal of instant transportation over the distant lands of Hunkala. Okay, so now this little tunnel right here, vertical tunnel if you will, I just use my elytra to fly on up here, and this was just made to get to the nether roof. Now, to get up here, if we don't want to use the elytra at the very top, we do have this little convenient slime block elevator right there. Now, on the nether roof, to begin with, we have the Hoglin farm. Built this, of course, early in 1.16. You get the point. Hoglins spawn here and are immediately scared by all of this warped fungus, sending them to their deaths down into this lava stream. The trapdoors are here because with the trapdoors open in this position, the mobs in the game think that there are blocks which they can stand on. If not, they would just stand on the edge right here, continuously being scared of both the mushroom and falling to their death. But since these trapdoors are all here, they think there's a block there, they try to stand on it, sending them to their death. Stupid, stupid mobs. Now, if we hop on up to the viewing platform right here, a nice little cozy cottage that I built for such occasions, AFKing and whatnot, you can already see all of the hoglins spawning. It's a very efficient farm, super easy to build, basically infinite food. This is a very good farm to build early on. The only difficulty is getting to the nether roof itself. Obviously, this has to be built in a crimson forest biome, so it's a little difficult to build down below the nether roof with all the hoglins attacking you and ghasts and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of cheated a little bit and built it on the nether roof. Please don't sue. All right, don't light me up in the comments. It's just we all play the game how we like. All right, if the game lets me get to the nether roof, then I'ma get to the nether roof. All right, be cool. Moving swiftly on. Of course, we have the item collection right there for all the drops. Super simple stuff. We have the carpets down here to send us in the various directions. That way towards the iron farm again, and this way towards the gold farm. And there we have it, the gold farm. Now, this, of course, once again, is a farm designed, created, tested, whatever you want to call it, by, you guessed it, Raiseworks. Yes, of course, it's another Raiseworks farm. It's super efficient, super awesome. Don't know why it's disappearing like that, but we're just gonna stick with it. Heading into the farm itself, of course, all the piglins spawn up there. You drop down into this little spot right here. Go ahead and injure one with an arrow to get them aggroed. They will all drop down to their deaths, giving me all of their beautiful drops. And because some zombie piglin, when killed by a player, will drop a golden ingot, this guy will take that and end up trading it. So this not only works as a gold farm itself, but also as a piglin trading farm. I also explained this design and this farm right here in my second episode on the piglin trading hall. So be sure to go back and watch if you're interested. Over here, we simply have item storage. Now, the only other things besides these farms that we have on the nether roof here is an emergency portal back home. This portal, of course, sends us to the Spawnville, and we have this fancy looking portal right here, which takes us to a random box in the middle of the overworld. Yes, beautiful. No, just kidding. This button right here over my shoulder, if we press it, it activates this fancy dancy piston door, and it reveals the Skelly farm using a skeleton spawner right here. First, before I explain, let me go ahead and turn on the lights here. And this button turns on the lights inside the farm itself. Now, the skeletons spawn at this spawner right here in this very room. It's sent into this hole through the water streams, are sent out when they step on this platform right here. They're pushed by this piston, are sent forward, and they may take some time, but inevitably they get pushed forward by other skeletons and whatnot into these water streams, up through here, and into the killing area. Easy peasy. I did build this area very early on, and I used a lot of iron blocks just because I wanted to stick to the white theme. You know, skeletons are white and the bones are white. So we have the bones on the inside right here for decoration. Additionally, we have the white and gray bones right here with this spare room with some extra furnaces and storage down here. And of course, this is the killing area itself. I do have it set for automatic and manual. Right now it's set to manual mode, but if I press this button right here, it turns on the lava blade. So now these skeletons will fall through this lava and their drops will drop into this hopper right here. Pretty cool stuff. Now heading downstairs, we just have the item collection area. Here we have a trash can for all of the arrows. All arrows are sorted out via this, once again, item sorter right here and pooped out into a lava block. Now this is the item storage itself. All bones end up in one of these two units right here, and all armor and other items end up in here. Now if I'm AFKing and I want this to go for a while and I don't want this all to fill up with bows and armor and whatnot, I'll simply flip this switch. Now that just sends all of the items out into, you guessed it, a lava block, destroying them to allow room for more bones. This is some storage for some extra bows that I just wanted to have. And these are double blast furnaces to melt all of the gold gear into iron nuggets, accompanied by, of course, a grindstone to collect all of the XP from the gold armor. And that is the skeleton farm. Heading back on out, this portal will take us back to the magical sciencey portal of teleportation. Yes, this area down here. This is the initial portal to the skeleton farm, finely decorated as opposed to the one on the roof up there. Oh, and a fun feature about this nether tunnel right here is, of course, the reason why I'm walking so slow. Yet again, there's soul sand underneath me. Yeah, very cool, but, you know, not when you're trying to give a world tour and speeding along. So, that's cool. Sending ourselves flying down the tunnel yet again. We will skip this area for now and head straight down to the end of this portal, which is the Guardian area. You probably already tell. Of course, this is the entrance to a Guardian farm. Heading on the other side of this portal here, we have the storage. And of course, heading into the portal itself, it sends us back into the overworld, where we have the Guardian farm. Now, for this, I had to tear out all of the Guardian temple. This sends all of the Guardians flying up. Some of them get into this box right here, mainly when I am set on this platform right there. Standing on this platform, as you can see, plenty spawn in and spawn out, and most are sent into that obsidian portal in the very center. Now, if we head back into the nether, we will surely see an absolute bunch of guardians being killed by the fire right here. Beautiful, beautiful. And the only reason why they stopped is because there's nobody in the overworld to activate the farm. Now, that was just overflow, just from the few seconds of me coming back through the nether. As you can see, it's a super efficient farm. If I was still in the overworld, it would just be a constant stream of guardians, and all of their drops are sorted efficiently in this bin right here and this bin back here. I had actually split the hoppers because originally I had them all going on that side, but it was just coming in too fast. There was a ton of drops just despawning on the top here. It's crazy. So yeah, super efficient farm. Whoopsies, did not mean to do that. Yes, creative mode automatically makes it go through. Super efficient farm, if I do say so myself. And to give credit where credit is duly earned, this has been a farm brought to you by Shulkercraft, a great source of Minecraft tutorials. Get out of here, Hoglin. Get out of here. Now, exiting the magical tunnel here, we have the Crimson Forest area. We wanted to really represent the new nether. We really wanted to represent the new nether biomes here. So we went ahead and made this tunnel, and the tunnel down there, the warped biome, represents the areas efficiently. So of course we had to lock up a hoglin in one of the cages for our viewing purposes. He deserved it. He tried to kill me on multiple occasions. So heading through this crimson area, with the beautiful windows and what have you. We enter the warped variant, which is pretty much exactly the same, just with the warped. We enter this lovely looking dungeness-like area, which is the ink farm. Now, this is a farm made back in 1.14 by good old Logical Geek Boy, who I mentioned earlier in the video. We'll get to the random stack of chickens and boats, but heading through the nether portal right here, we have plenty of mobs. Usually there's not this many, but that's odd. Okay, that's cool, whatever. But yes, moving down this tunnel, we have the actual farm itself. Now, all this really is just a series of ginormous obsidian nether portals and water in beneath, being sectioned off by platforms of glass. So as far as the design goes, it's a pretty simple farm, but it uses some clever mechanics, and as squid spawn here in these pockets of water, they have nowhere to go but into the portals themselves. And when they do, they're sent into this area, and as you just saw, because of the entity cramming from all of the boats, they get flung out, and there are chickens inside of each boat to ensure that the boats do not end up stacking on one another like cups do. After the squids are flung out of the portal, they are forced to lie right here and die of suffocation, after which their drops are sent into these hoppers under the slabs and into these chests right here. And of course, this is a super efficient farm. If you have a large need for black dye, or even just want to sell them to librarians, this is a super efficient farm for all of that. I highly recommend. Moving on. Back down the tunnel here, through the warped area, through the crimson area, and into this oak tunnel here. Now, you may have already guessed by the decorum, but this is the entrance to the mesa biome. Here we go! Now, the reason we are in a ginormous cave here is because I decided to bring my beacons to this cave to mine for gold. If you didn't already know, mesa biomes spawn an abundance of gold. If you need gold, aside from building a farm in the nether, this is your best bet. So, we came to the mesa biome, built this mine down here, placed in this nether portal, added this item sorter here, and it's a rather efficient farm at that. As you can see, sectioned off the different beacons. And we have plenty of diamonds in here. Actually, forgot I had that much diamonds in here. Plenty of redstone, some lapis, plenty of gold, as you can see, plenty of iron. Yeah, and this is after I took out a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, your boy's rolling in diamonds. Now, this is a pretty underdeveloped area. The only reason why I have it is mainly to mine and collect terracotta, of course. So, not much to it, just a simple elytra flight through this 1x1 hole and into this area to collect some terracotta. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Sorry, just a destroyed mountain of terracotta. Anywho, now I mainly just use the stonemason hall to trade for terracotta. So we're gonna head on back through, back down the terracotta tunnel. Hello, sir. Excuse me. Swoop. Now, to conclude our tour, the only thing that we have left is, of course, the end. This, my fine fellows, is the tunnel to the end itself. The end of this world, the end of the game, and the end of this bleeding long video. Away we go. Now, to start with, I thought it was pretty fitting to put the chorus fruit farm of this world basically at the entrance of the end. Yeah, through that nether portal right there, that's the entrance to the end. But we built this farm in an episode. It was actually a really fun episode. I really liked building this farm. I like doing these underground interior builds where all you gotta worry about is the wall and the ceiling and whatnot. Came out with this pretty cool design for the walls to keep everything well lit. And as far as the farm goes, it's pretty simple. You just throw snowballs at the flowers, collect them, and replace them. Now, there are hoppers underneath this water and half slabs here that end up in these chests right here. So there is a little bit of mechanics going on, but other than that, pretty simple stuff. Yes. Beautiful little forest fruit arrangement with the invisible item frame. Thank you, Vanilla Twix. Going back onto the other side of the portal now, we have the actual entrance to the end itself. For this area, I wanted to replicate the end, so we have this little end island and the complete void surrounding us. But, you know, as far as all the lines from the block goes, what can you do? Now here, of course, we have the entrance to the end. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. I would make this my screensaver if I could, minus the random smoke particles. It's beautiful. Oh, pretty. And here we go! Now, the spawn for this area was a little scary. I remember coming through and I was absolutely terrified by the platform in the middle of the void, not over the island. I had to ender pearl over. Luckily, I was smart enough to bring some ender pearls. So that was a little scary. Sometimes you end up with a platform inside of the island, on top of the island, around the island. It's just a matter of randomization and luck. Now, we haven't done much here, as you can see with all of this. We simply defeated the almighty dragon. We've collected some obsidian here. We've gone out into the end cities and collected elytra, mainly farming here. But we did build an ender. This down here is a ender pearl farm, enderman farm, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it an ender. Now, for the farm itself, it's pretty basic, pretty rudimentary. If you don't already know, endermen really don't like endermites. They have an absolute disdain for them, actually. So by having this endermite up here, the endermen spawn on this platform here once the lights are turned off, running to the endermite and fall down because of this trapdoors. They think the trapdoors are a full block, but they're not. So they fall down in this killing area, and you kill them at your leisure. I'll switch back to survival here, flip on the system, and watch the endermen run to their deaths. And of course, all of this is glass, so they can't really teleport anywhere anyways. So it works out. Now, as far as this goes back here, this is simply a dispenser to send all of the pearls out as they come in. This is another dispenser just to put items in because it really gets backed up. And of course, can't forget about the enchantment area when you're working at an experience farm like this. Now, this ender got us through much of the early game. I built this rather early on just to get that much more XP. As soon as I killed the ender dragon, I made sure to jump back in and build this thing, and it has served us very well. Nowadays, I don't really use it, mainly because we have the piglin farm in the nether, which gives us just as much experience, if not more, without the need for an auto clicker, because the piglins just get aggroed and feed you experience without you needing to slash. But this is a very integral part of this world, very functional part. Not much aestheticism to it, just the glass. And thus, my fine fellow friends, concludes our tour of Hunkala. As I mentioned previously in the video, I do have a bit of a surprise for you, a bit of an announcement, if you will. Keep in mind, I will be continuing my single-player world. New things will be built. I will be doing presentations of the world and other Let's Play episodes. But I will also be playing on the Shulkercraft server with my buddy Drift. So I look forward to coming episodes of that. Please join us in watching Season 2 of the Shulkercraft server, and I'll see you in 1.17. Until then, keep learning. Oh yeah. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Bye. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.